We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Yesterday we heard very nice verse. The highest perfectional gain of humanity is to engage in discussions of the activities and glories of the pious actor. Here pious actor means Supreme Lord, because he's all good. He is doing for the benefit of all, eternal benefit of all. Such activities are so nicely arranged in writing by the greatly learned sages that the actual purpose of the air is served just by being near them. So Vyasadeva, he wrote about the activities in Bhagavatam, so we can get actual purpose of having air by hearing this literature or hearing Harikatha directly from living sadhu. That is even more potent if directly you hear. Atmano vasito vatsa mahima kavi nadina samvatsara sahasrante diya yoga vipakaya. O my son, the original poet, Brahma, after mature meditation for 1000 celestial years, could know only that the glories of the Supreme Lord are inconceivable. Here also, in previous verse, perfectional gain, there are different levels of consciousness of people, and each of them, they have something they think is the goal. But common denominator is all want to be happy. That is same for all. So certain people, they think that by sense gratification we can be happy. So they are working very hard by immoral or moral means to secure as much sense enjoyment as possible and doing all kinds of violence and everything to get that. But there are some who understood that all this enjoyment, exploitation, will have a reaction, which is suffering. So they don't want to suffer. They realize, like Siddhartha Gautam, that all this existence is only suffering. If you see it clearly, ultimately it is all about suffering. So, how they want to be happy? By removing existence. Because existence is suffering, so if I finish existence, then there will be no suffering. So for them, this is the highest goal. That kind of peace from suffering. And Gyanis also, they also realize, but they want to have contact with Brahman, that Brahmajyoti, transcendental bliss. They want to merge there, want to become one. So for them, that is the highest. So they're all, those who are karmis, they are blind by their desires. But Buddhists and Gyanis, they are pessimists. They see everything is bad. So we have to finish with everything. Then from that, good will come. But devotees, they are actually always optimists, because they know there are healthy activities also, which are not producing suffering, and they are fulfilling their actions, and there are desires, but proper desire. That proper desire is to satisfy Krishna. All activities are meant to satisfy Krishna, so that is action, but totally different action than this materialistic action. It does not produce a reaction in the form of suffering, and it really gives you fulfillment. So they are always optimistic devotees. And how to gain that goal is starting with, we have to hear Harikatha from bona fide source, from revealed scriptures and from sadhus who are realized souls, or those who are speaking what is written in Shastra and what realized souls are speaking. And here Brahma, his first created living entity, 1000 celestial years, that is very long time. Then he realized that the glories of Supreme Lord are inconceivable to these gross and subtle sense organs. They are conceivable to transcendental I, up to the degree of surrender. And there is no end to that realization. Ato Bhagavato Maya Mainam api mohini yat swayam chatma vartmatma naveda kim utapare. The wonderful potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is bewildering even to the jugglers. That potential power is unknown even to the self-sufficient Lord, so it is certainly unknown to others, because it is unlimited. Yato prapya nyavartanta vachascha manasa saha aham chanya ime devas tasmai bhagavate nama. This is also in Upanishad also, but here there is more explicit. Words, mind and ego with their respective controlling demigods have failed to achieve success in knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is impossible by the means of gross and subtle senses. Therefore, we simply have to offer our respectful obeisances unto Him as a matter of sanity. That is sanity. That is normal condition to surrender to Supreme. Then by His grace you can know. You will also find in Vedanta Sutra that question, if Supreme Lord is inconceivable, then no, the question is whether He can be described or not. And then you have arguments and counter-arguments based on scripture, and this is also there, that speech cannot attain Him, mind cannot attain Him, they return back disappointed, they cannot know. So arguments whether He can be described or not. So ultimately Siddhanta is given by Vyasadeva. He can be described, but no one can fully describe Him because He is unlimited. But that nothing you can say, that is also not true. Otherwise all scriptures would be useless. They are giving description of Supreme Lord, and sadhus, realized souls, those who have seen Supreme Lord, they are also speaking about Him. That kind of descriptions are bona fide, and we should hear those. But we should not think that just by memorizing and intellectually understanding those descriptions we have realized. No. We have to hear with surrender and also practice devotional service to Krishna. Then all those qualities and everything, transcendental name, form, qualities of Supreme Lord, they will be revealed in our heart to the degree of our surrender. And there is no end to that. So then we can also speak Harikatha, but it will never be finished. You can never say, now I totally describe, I finished. No, that is not possible. Because Supreme Lord is unlimited. But what can be said by those who realize soul that is most beneficial in this world, that Harikatha and revealed scriptures. That will give us indication in the right direction and for the right process, then by devotional service to Krishna we can get all our eternal benefits. Next, chapter 7. Further inquiries by Vidur. Shri Shuka Uvach. Evam Bruvanam Maitreyam Dvaipayana Sutta Buddha Prinayan Iva Bharatya Vidura Pratya Bhashata. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, while Maitreya, the great sage, was thus speaking, Vidur, the learned son of Dvaipayan Vyas, expressed a request in a pleasing manner by asking this question. Request in a pleasing manner means with surrender. Pratyabhasata. Pleasing manner. Because we have to approach Guru always with surrender. You will find in 3 scriptures, our Gurudev also was quoting. From Bhagavad Gita, it is Tadvidi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevai Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tatadarshina. Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevai. With surrender and inquiry and with service attitude you should approach realized soul, then he will tell you and engage you in the service. From Gita, then you will find in Mundaka Upanishad, Tadvigyana Artam Sagurum Eva Bigachet. Samit Pani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. If you want to know about the absolute truth, then you have to approach Guru with that wood for fire, for sacrifice in your hand, means with service attitude, with surrender. Because those who are Brahmin, they will always do yagya to satisfy Krishna. So you have to bring those articles to assist in that. So that is service attitude. And Guru should have knowledge of all scriptures and also must be fully devoted to Supreme Lord, means realized soul. And in Bhagavatam, Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasa Shreya Uttamam Shabde Parechanishnatam Brahmani Upasamasharam. All are expressing same thing. Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta. Therefore, after realizing that by karma one cannot get satisfaction, thereafter one should surrender, prapadyate, one should surrender to Guru and should inquire from him about eternal welfare. Guru is Shabde Parechanishnatam. He is expert in scriptures and in devotion to Krishna. He is in his shelter. He is always serving him. That is why Vidur approached in this way. That is proper. Shri Vidur said, O great Brahmana, since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the complete spiritual whole and is unchangeable, how is he connected with the material modes of nature and their activities? If this is his pastime, how do the activities of the unchangeable take place and exhibit qualities without the modes of nature? Mayavadis, they have this doubt. Immediately when you say activity, they think Maic activity. They are not aware of any spiritual activity, either of Supreme Lord or of the Jivas. So wherever there is forum or activity or end, that is all Maya for them. But that is wrong. So here Vidur is asking, not for himself, for the benefit of conditioned souls who have such doubts, how he is doing this. He is unchangeable, then how he can do activities and also within this material world. So it means he's under the influence of Maya. Krirayam udyamo arbhasya kamash chikri Shanyata Swata Striptasya Chakatam Nivritasya Sadanyataha. Boys are enthusiastic to play with other boys or with various diversions because they are encouraged by desire. But there is no possibility of such desire for the Lord because He is self-satisfied and detached from everything at all times. This doubt is in Vedanta Sutra also. Because Bhagavatam is commentary of Vedanta Sutra. So all same topics are here, but explained in a very vivid or explicit way, very nicely. So Bhagavatam is the best of all scripture. If someone sees other scriptures in the light of Bhagavatam, then it is okay, but not without. Then he will not get the full understanding. Asrakshit Bhagavan Vishwam Guna Mayatma Maya Taya Sangstapayatetat Bhuyah Pratyapi Dasyati. By his self-sheltered potency of the three modes of material nature, the Lord has caused the creation of this universe. By her, he maintains the creation and conversely dissolves it again and again. Deshatah kalato yosau avastatah svatonyatah aviluptava bodhatma sa yujetajaya katham. The pure soul is pure consciousness and is never out of consciousness. This is also in Vedanta Sutra. Whether Jiva is always conscious or not, because doubt is no. When he's sleeping, he is not conscious of anything. When he wakes up, then he is conscious, but it is not true. There it is written, no. When deep sleep is there also conscious, but there is no object to be conscious of, so you are not feeling. But when he wakes up, he remembers, I slept well. So he was conscious at that time. Jiva is always conscious. Either due to circumstances, time, situations, dreams, or other causes. How then does he become engaged in nescience? If Jiva is always conscious, then how is engaged in this means bewildered activities? Bhagavan eka evaisha sarva kshetreshu avastitaha amushya durbhagatvam va klesho va karma bih kutaha. The Lord, as the super soul, is situated in every living being's heart. Why then do the living entities' activities result in misfortune and misery? Etasmin me mano vidvan kidyate jnana sankate tannah paranuda vibho kashmalam manasam mahat. O great and learned one, my mind is greatly illusioned by the distress of this nescience, and I therefore request you to clear it up. Here Sai Maharaj giving very nice commentary. Such mental bewilderment, as represented here by Vidur, takes place for some living entities, but not for everyone. For if everyone were bewildered, there would be no possibility of a solution by higher personalities. So higher personalities like Maitreya, they are not bewildered. They know. They can awaken us. They can clear this bewilderment. That is why we always have to work under the guidance of a realized soul. Then it will be beneficial. Otherwise we will commit mistake. We will work out of ignorance of what is our real necessity and how we can attain what we want. So that is not, we will not get it. Shri Shuka Uvach. Sa itam chodita kshatra tattva jigyasuna muni pratyaha bhagavachita smayan eva gatasmaya. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, Maitreya, being thus agitated by the inquisitive Vidur, at first seemed astonished, but then he replied to him without hesitation, since he was fully God conscious. Jasmin vigyate sarvam eva vigyatam bhavate. Anyone who is a devotee of the Lord knows about the Lord to some extent. And devotional service to the Lord makes him able to know everything by the grace of the Lord. Although a devotee may apparently express himself to be ignorant, he is full of knowledge in every intricate matter. Those who are realized souls means they are beyond Mayic perception. They know the truth about Supreme Lord, about the Jiva, about the eternal relation, about Maya. All these truths they know, and they are fully engaged in his service. In that sense, they know everything, and there is no defect in their knowledge and in their activities. But they themselves also feel that they don't know everything because Supreme Lord is unlimited. Maitreya Uvach Seyam Bhagavato Maya Yan Nayena Virudyate Ishwarasya Vimuktasya Karpanyam Uta Bandhanam. Shri Maitreya said, certain conditioned souls put forward the theory that the Supreme Brahman, or the personality of Godhead, is overcome by illusion or Maya, and at the same time they maintain that he is unconditioned. This is against all logic. Mayavadis, they say like this. Brahman, that spirit, some portion of it gets bewildered by Maya, but that is not correct. According to Shastra, according to reality. They think when Brahman is under the influence of Maya, that is Jiva. But when Jiva will chant Soham, 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 then when that bewilderment will be removed, then he will realize I am Brahman. That is Maya, but it is not correct. Yat artena vinamushya pumsa atma viparya pratiyata upadrashtu swashiras chedana dika. The living entity is in distress regarding his self-identity. He has no factual background, like a man who dreams that he sees his head cut off. This distress is like a dream. But when we are dreaming, we are also suffering, so we have to be awakened. Although there is no harm to Atma, but we are suffering because of misidentification. So we have to be awakened. Then there is no more suffering and you get fulfillment. Jatha jale chandramasa kampadis tat krito guna drishyate san apidrashtur atmano natmano guna. As the moon reflected on water appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of the water, so the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter. We see, if you shake the water, we see that moon is shaking, that reflection. But in reality, moon is not shaken. Like that, Atma is not suffering. This birth, death, old age, disease. No. It is going on with the body, but when Atma misidentifies with the body, then like dreaming, then also suffering, although there is no harm to the Atma in reality. Savai nivriti dharmena vasudevanu kampaya bhagavad bhakti jogena tirodate shaner iha. But that misconception of self-identity can be diminished gradually by the mercy of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, through the process of devotional service to the Lord in the mode of detachment. Nivriti dharmena. There are two, pravriti and nivriti. Pravriti means enjoyment and nivriti means detachment. So Bhakti Yoga is always part of detachment of these worldly activities and desire, selfishness, all this. But that does not mean that there are no activities. As Buddhists and Jnanis, they try to achieve that, no activity. That is not for devotees. Devotees, they give up wrong activities and do right activities. So in that sense, detachment. All sinful activities, all enjoyments, all this, they give up for the service of Krishna. So if one does Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena, then he can remove this misconception of self. There is no other way. Yadendriyo paramotha drashtratmani pareharo vilyantatda klesha sansuptasyeva kritsnasha. When the senses are satisfied in the seer super soul, the personality of Godhead, and merge in him, all miseries are completely vanquished as after a sound sleep. Here merge means both are without material contamination. In that way they are same, but not absolutely same. One is small, another is big, Supreme Lord is big, but they are one in the sense because Jiva, liberated Jiva, is in interest with Supreme Lord, always satisfying his desires, and in that way Jiva is fully happy. Ashesha Sanklesha Shamam Vidhate Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare Kim Va Punasta Charanaravinda Paraga Seva Ratir Atma Labda. Simply by chanting and hearing of the transcendental name, form, etc. of the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, one can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable conditions. Therefore, what to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet? They already got rati. Then no one and nothing can stop them in their devotion to Krishna. They already attained that taste, practical taste. So there is no question of any miseries in them. Miserable conditions. We are in misconception of self because we are averse to knowledge, who is Supreme Lord. So there is no other way except to accept knowledge. Then ignorance can be removed. So Bhakti Yoga to Supreme Lord is the only way how one can achieve full self-realization. Completely. Yogis, Jnanis, they will they will give up these worldly egos of three gunas, temporary, this, but they will not realize that they are eternal servants of Krishna. They will realize we are spirit, but not realize that we are eternal servant of Krishna. So their realization is not complete. And they will again fall down due to want of satisfaction because of not having relation with Krishna. That a relation of Jiva with Krishna is already eternal. So if you don't fulfill that, then even from that neutral plane, you will again want to search for some relationships in this world. Mike. Again they will fall down. So the only way is by this Bhakti Yoga process to realize your eternal relation with Krishna, that you can be once and for all and fully, you can remove ignorance of the self and with it all kinds of miseries, and you will work, constantly work, constant activities for the satisfaction of Krishna. That is natural, and that is the only way how Jiva can be fulfilled fully and eternally. Vidur Uvach Sanchinah Sanksha Mahyam Tava Suktasina Vibho Ubhayatrapi Bhagavan Manome Sampra Dhavati. Vidur said, O powerful sage, my Lord, all my doubts about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities have now been removed by your convincing words. My mind is now perfectly entering into them. Why they are convincing? Because Maitreya is a realized soul. He is expressing the truth. So those who have enough Sukriti, they are able to receive that, and all illusions are removed. Like when our Gurudev played the pastime of putting that first question to Param Gurudev. Our Gurudev told, I am meditating and I feel just now Supreme Lord will appear in front of me. But then I stop because I become afraid that then I will have to give up all these relations, father, mother, friends, other brother, sister, all this. So then I stop. Because I think I will die and all this will finish, and so I cannot. So you please tell me how I can not stop in my meditation. Then Param Gurudev gave that story about the swans and ducks or geese. Geese were in the lake, and one small lake, and they were eating worms and shrimps and these insects, all these they were eating. And that water was not so clean, a small pond. And one day they saw some white swans, very big and very beautiful white swans. They were flying over that pond of water. And they were all attracted. Oh, they are also birds like us, but they are so beautiful. Where they are staying, what they are eating. They were wondering. Then one swan came down to them and they said, oh, swan, you are so beautiful. What do you eat and where do you live? Can we also be like you? Can we go there? Then he said, yes, only for this reason I came down, out of compassion, seeing you in this small pond, lake. I came. I want to take you there. Then the geese said, but we are small birds. We cannot fly very long. Then he said, no problem. I will take you on my back. I can take you there. They said, okay. Then they said, but there, worms and shrimps and insects, and that is available there for eating, then that one said, no, such filthy things are not there. We are coming from Manasarovar, that crystal clear water, and lotuses are growing there. A nice breeze is there, and we are eating the stems, that middle portion stem of lotus, very nectarian, that we are taking. There is no these filthy things there. Then the ducks or geese, because they were attached to this, they were unable to go with them. They said, then we cannot go, we will die. So they could not understand that that is better. And they were fully attached to this. So Parama Gurudeva explained, that is why, because you are attached to these non-eternal things, you think this is very good. Because of that, you are unable to go further in spiritual realization, because you think you will be loser, you will lose this. So you are not aware that that is actually better, and that is reality, and that is what is natural. This is not good at all. So how it will be possible that you will not stop? It will be possible only if you take association of realized souls, devotees. Alone, you cannot. There is no such strength there. But in association of devotees, they will, those who are realized souls, one verse from Bhagavatam, our Parama Gurudeva gave, Tato Utsrijya, that verse, those sadhus, those pure devotees, their words of realized knowledge, they are tasting the service of Krishna, not theoretically, but practically they are tasting, as here it is written, they already attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the Lord's feet. So they already are directly tasting that nectar, and they have full knowledge what is real happiness and what is this Mike thing. So their words will be like sword cutting through illusion, our attachments and all this ignorance and all. That will cut through. Why? Because they're speaking from realization. So here this happened. Vidur, after hearing about the cause of jiva suffering and how, because of misidentifications, and how by bhakti they can remove that and get real happiness, because he's realized in this Maitreya. So Vidur said, now my doubts were removed by your convincing words. I may speak same words as Maitreya, but they will not be convincing. Why? Because I'm not established in that reality. I'm not actually tasting the nectar of the service of Krishna. So that difference is there. Words may be same, but background is different. So that will have more effect. Uttamadhikari, when coming to the platform of Madhyamadhikari to preach, his power of removing illusion from conditioned souls and attracting them to the service of Krishna will be more than ordinary Madhyamadhikari. Although Madhyamadhikari also has power to attract jivas, but Uttamadhikari will have more strength. Kanishtadhikari, he himself is struggling with anarthas. So he may say, he may advise, but that will not have so much, but something is better than nothing. He can also say in this sense that I went to doctor and he gave me some medicine and I'm taking that medicine and I'm seeing it is working. So you also, you do, you chant, holy name, all this. This we can say, but we cannot say like those who are realized soul with that type of conviction that others can be attracted. Sadvetat vyahritam vidvan natma mayayanam hareh abhati apartham nirmulam vishwamulam nayat bahih. O learned sage, your explanations are very good, as they should be. Disturbances to the conditioned soul have no other basis than the movement of the external energy of the Lord. Always moving, and because we are misidentified, we are having all disturbances. But once you detach, then you see that moon is never shaking. That was a reflection shaking in the water, but that has nothing to do with your real self. When someone realizes I am Atma, then there is no disturbance of death, because there is no death for Atma. There is no birth for Atma, no suffering for Atma, nothing. Only when we are dreaming that we are this body, we are getting those suffering. But if someone awakens you, then immediately there are no disturbances. Our Gurudev in many letters he wrote, when one will unconditionally surrender to Krishna, there will be no more disturbances. So if we are feeling in our life some disturbances, it means we did not yet unconditionally surrender to Krishna. There are some other desires, some other hesitations, attachments and all this. So that we have to remove by engaging in devotional practice. Then when we will come to that point of unconditional surrender, full surrender, complete, no other desire except service of Krishna, then you are fully free of Maya, then there is no disturbance. Yascha mudhatamo loke, yascha buddheh paramgata, tau ubho sukham edete, klishyati antarito jana. Both the lowest fools and he who is transcendental to all intelligence enjoy happiness, whereas persons between them suffer the material pangs. Lowest of fool means he is like a drunk. He is not aware of anything. He is feeling ignorance is bliss. He does not know anything what is going on, so no suffering. And those who are fully transcendental to all intelligence, means they are situated on Atma platform. They are happy, but those who are between, they are feeling suffering. But there are two types then. Those who already started the process of coming out, that is practitioners of devotion, they are better than those who did not yet start. And gradually that is removed in degrees also. How much you dedicate yourself to Krishna, that much you are detached or released from suffering. There are degrees, it's not black and white, degrees for sadhakas, practitioners. Artha bhavam vinishchitya pratitasya pinatmana tam chapi jushma charana seva yaham paranude. But my dear sir, I am obliged to you because now I can understand that this material manifestation is without substance, although it appears real. I am confident that by serving your feet, it will be possible for me to give up the false idea. Like animals in the desert, they see that phantasmagoria, mirage of water that is real, appears real, but it is not. Like that, now he understood. Yes, I can accept because you touched my heart. What you are speaking, I feel that is true. But now not yet fully realized in that. So by serving your feet, means Guru Seva, I will be able to cross over this all illusion. That is first, Guru Seva, Guru Puja. Then by his grace, we can get the service of Krishna. And service of Krishna also includes service of his devotees. So that is never stopped, like first Guru, and then Guru finished, and then Krishna. No. Service of Guru is also eternal, because he is personal associate of Krishna. So we have to serve both accordingly, appropriately. Or like that, in one kingdom, wife, queen, had one pearl necklace, and bird took it. Then she was depressed. Then king ordered all his men to find out, and also to others he said, whoever will find will get a big reward. So all were searching but could not find. But one person saw in one small water spring, oh, there it is, that pearl necklace. He wanted to grab it from the water but could not grasp it. Then he put the hand out, and again he saw, no, it is there, I saw it. Why I could not feel it? Again he went with the hand, and all the time like this, out and in and out and in. He said, how it is possible? I'm seeing it is there. He was fully bewildered. Then one sadhu came nearby, and he saw what he's doing. Then this person said, oh sadhu, please help me. He was asking for his help. Why? Because he knew sadhu has no material desires. So he will not try to steal that from me, and he will get that reward from king. That is why he asked for his help. But if there would be any other person, non-sadhu, he would not tell. Out of fear that then rivalry will come. He will fight to get that. But sadhu will not fight. Sadhu is always happy, drinking Krishna prema. And this material necessities minimum, by the grace of Krishna, he is always getting, so no disturbance for him. So sadhu told him, yes, the point is, you look up on that tree branch. Then that person looked up and he saw that that necklace, original necklace, was on the branch of a tree. What he saw in the water was reflection only. There was no substance there. Reflection on the water. He thought the necklace is there, but it was not. Like that, we are thinking this material enjoyment is happiness, but it is not. Original happiness is there in the service of Krishna. So sadhu, they can tell us, there it is. So we have to serve the sadhu, take the help of sadhu, pure devotee. Then we can get the real thing, and you can realize this was all Maya. Yat sevaya bhagavatah kutastasya madhudvisha rati raso bhavet tivra padayor vyasanardana. By serving the feet of the spiritual master, one is enabled to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is the unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon, and whose service vanquishes one's material distresses. Madhu demon is representing some other selfish desires, so Krishna is removing that by offering the nectar of his lotus feet. He kills that demon, so devotees, without any obstacle, they can get the service of Krishna. That is possible by serving Guru. Adau Guru Puja. First is Guru Puja. Durapa Hyalpa Tapasa Seva Vaikunta Vartmasu Yatro Pagiyate Nityam Deva Devo Janardana. Persons whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain the service of the pure devotees who are progressing on the path back to the kingdom of Godhead, the Vaikunthas. Pure devotees engage 100% in glorifying the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of the demigods and the controller of all living entities. Durapahi alpa tapasa. Alpa tapasa, meager austerity, or we are daily chanting Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmani Vaishnave, Swalpa Punya. One who has very little pious activity, merit, and here is tapasa. So it all refers to lack of sukriti. Because by accumulating enough sukriti, our energy was knowingly or unknowingly engaged in the satisfaction of Krishna by means of some sadhus. Then when that is accumulated enough, then we can get sadhu sangha proper. We will recognize and we will appreciate and we will want to engage in their service, and they will engage us in the service of Krishna. Here, pure devotees engage one. Pure devotees will bring us to this point that we will 100% glorify Supreme Lord. Means unconditional surrender, full dedication to Krishna, who is the Lord of the demigods and the controller of all living entities. Tomorrow we will hear further.